Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's Matthew here on Watty's channel. Today, once again, it is Wednesday, December 21st. This is the second video that I'm making today. This will be part 3 of my more valuable or more expensive figure collections. Title pending. Anyone that watched the last video, you guys already know. I had to stop around 20-minute marker. There were so many figures I had laid out here that I really wanted to talk about. I wanted it to be a part of that video, but again, I don't want these particular videos to go 30-40 minutes. So I think around a 20-minute mark is a good time frame. So, and at least this way, it does allow me to bring out more figures to talk about, and I don't have to basically put all of my, I hate the expression eggs in one basket, but that expression does work, at least in regards to these particular videos. So I do want this to be a nice ongoing series. It doesn't have to be like a weekly basis type of deal. It might end at like 5 videos, 10 videos, etc. But so it's better to do it that way, stretch it out some, as opposed to trying to get all the figures in one video or 2 videos, 3 videos, and then basically run out of ideas after that. So we are going to dive right back in. So I did add a few more figures before I get to the keynotes for this particular video. The ones I was really excited about in the last video that I couldn't bring up. But so again, these aren't in any particular order, but I have started to try to put them to the best of my ability in order of purchase price. Anyone tuning in for the first time, or whoever hasn't seen any of the other 2 videos I posted around this topic, what I'm doing is selecting my most expensive figures based on their purchase price. So it doesn't have to be what's most valuable to me. It doesn't include shipping costs or taxes. It's just strictly purchase price only. So the first one we're talking about from Galoob is Big Josh. I don't have the little axe, unfortunately, but if any customizer out there, or even if you're not a customizer, you just have one, or you want to sell, please definitely reach out to me. I'm pretty sure I can make you a fair offer for it, or if you have a price in mind, I would love to be able to add that accessory to this figure. So this figure, I actually bought him a couple times, and this one generally sells right exactly at the $200 mark, and that's what I paid for this one. $200 for Big Josh. And again, I don't care if it's a carded or non-carded figure. I just don't think of Galoob figures as being that valuable. When I bought the Brian Pillman UK Blue Trunks version for $200 on card, it completed a collection. And I did have this one I got from Crem's Closet. It was a custom, so not 100% identical. I paid $100 for it, and if I could do things again, I wouldn't have purchased it because A, I do have the original now, and B, again, it's not a perfect replica. So to me, it was just something to add to the Galoob line because I didn't have him, and I didn't think I'd be able to spend $200 on this. And I was like, okay, $100 for a custom. It looks close enough to the original. I'll still consider it part of the line, but no, I wouldn't do it again if I given the opportunity. Great figure, it looks great. I mean, terrible fighting pose. Oddly enough, a couple months ago when I did my top 10 least favorite action figures, I think I had this on that. If I remember correctly, I think he was like number 6 or 7. I don't know. It's a beautiful figure. It really is. It's among the Galoobs. Yeah, it's one of my most coveted action figures, period. Regardless of line. But it's just because his pose is so bad that it's really not a wrestleable. I keep using that word wrestleable. It's not a wrestling type figure that you could use based on his wrestling abilities or pose or anything like that. But he is one of my most expensive acquisitions at $200. So this one I just saw. I was flipping through my eBay, trying to look at my purchase history, just to try and get some more accurate pricing on a lot of these figures. And I came across this one. I think it was like 284 Canadian. I don't know what that amounts to, but I would say north of $200. So he is going to be part of this list or this video. And trying to, this is series 9 or no, this is series 9. So from Hasbro, we have series 9 $1,000,000 Man. And I'm trying to think of if there was like some kind of paperwork, some kind of authenticity that came with this. I do know that Ted DiBiase did sign over here, and I think that's another reason why this figure was so expensive. And I'm like, you know what? $200+ from a Canadian seller. You're probably paying $200 for this figure here in the States without the signature. So, you know, when I saw that, I'm like, you know what? I think that's fair. I'll jump on it. And even if it's not a $200 figure, it's still at least within the $150 range. Is a $1,000,000 Man signature worth an additional $50? You know, value, as I always say, it's in the eye of the beholder. And, you know, in my eyes, one of the legends of the World Wrestling Federation. Yeah, it's amazing to have his signature on his card figure. I still prefer the Series 2 green suit $1,000,000 Man. I still think that, to me, that's my favorite among the three different versions. I mean, you can't compare the two, though. You're talking about loose, a $60 figure compared to a $10 figure at best. But I actually had the green suit $1,000,000 Man as a kid. And, you know, I said it before, Series 1 and 2, we had a bunch. Nothing from Series 3. We had 3 figures from Series 4, and that was it. Nothing else from there on after. Not much to say about this. The card itself looks almost mint. I'm trying to think if this came with the case or if I enclosed it. I think I purchased the plastic casing. And you know, you go on to like Ringside Collectibles. You want free shipping? You gotta pay like $60. So I try and buy like 2 cases worth of these, and I think 6 cases. I think gives you like for $30 or something like that. So 2 cases or 12 packages for $60. So again, not really sure the exact dollar on that. 284 Canadian, somewhere in the $200 range for that particular figure. This one was a shocker. I won this on auction for just over $200, and it's the Series 8 Yokozuna. As you guys know, the Yokozuna figure from Hasbro, my all-time favorite action figure. And it's always because I gravitate towards the figures that are bulky, that hold a lot of weight. And I think he is one of those figures that has a unique body. I'm trying to think. So Scott Steiner and Crush have the same pose, and so I think Doink and Yokozuna, if I'm not mistaken, are probably the only two figures that have their own respective body mold. I thought Scott Steiner was on it, but no. I think Crush from Series 7 is also molded. I actually have a pair right here. Yeah, I'm looking right at them. Yeah, they're the same figure. And even Crush from Series 11, you know, still molded after Series 7. So Yokozuna on card, you're probably looking at about $300 to $400. And to win this on auction, I think I saw that I won it for like $203. I had to have been the only bidder on this item because I don't remember sitting there and bidding on it over and over again. If it was like starting bid of like $1, you know, I may have bid up to like $100, $125, $150 even, but I don't think I would have bid up to $200. Now, if it was like a starting bid of $200, you know, $203, I think that's the only way I would have actually bid on this. You know, put one bid in, see if I win, and like I said, if not, I had to be last video. Because I'm doing all these videos back to back, they're all going to bleed in together. So, in the last video I mentioned how everybody always wants to get a deal, right? So, if you see someone that puts a starting bid of like $100, $150, there's a good chance if someone does bid on the item, you're only going to see one bid. Now, you put this on auction for like $1, $10 starting bid. Yeah, you're probably going to get like 50 bids and, probably bid it up to $300 potentially. I think I got this for a steal. I still think that $200 is more than fair for Yokozuna. I mean, I was honestly expecting this to go for about $300 or $400, and to win that, it is just so awesome. All right. So last video we talked about Legion of Doom, so we're not going to talk about that one. All right. So the very first video. The very first time I made this video talking about my more expensive acquisitions, I looked at the Abdullah the Butcher and Carlos Colon grudge match, and I said it before, I never thought I was going to get Remco black carded figures, and since then, I've been kind of like stockpiling them. So, Abdullah the Butcher and Carlos Colon, I got a purchase price of $365 on that one, and shortly thereafter I acquired 2 new sets. This first one is Larry Zbyszko and Nick Bockwinkel. I think I paid $350 on this one. So the seller had this on her site for like $1,000, and she may have had that on her site for a very long time, because when I came in with about 35% of the offer, I thought there's absolutely no way possible that, they would ever accept my offer. In this particular case, I don't think I was unreasonable or unfair in my offer. I always say, well, if I've got something listed for $250 and someone comes in with a $100 offer, I'm like, you know what, try to be fair, try to be reasonable. Again, I don't think I was being unreasonable, even though I came $650 under, because in no way, shape, or form is this going to be a $1,000 set. I don't believe I had to tape this up, so I think it's all pretty much stuck to the card for the most part. So I don't think it's that rare. The card itself, it's in good shape. I mean, it's not mint again. You don't expect these to be mint. The card, the figure, or the bubble it's a little bit yellow, not too bad. So, Nick Bockwinkel. I don't know anything about him. Actually, I don't know anything about either of these characters, but I have these figures loose, of course, but again, having Remco on card, it's so important to me. And getting the grudge match figures, the tag teams, right now it's a major priority for me. So I'm looking at the back of this card. I have them loose, but I don't have the carded figures of, I keep calling him Razor Ramon, Scott Hall, and Jimmy Garvin. Right there. So I think if that's it, just 4 tag teams, I'm 75% of the way there. So that is so amazing. Like I said, she had it up for about $1,000. I must have been the only person to offer her anything for it, because she accepted immediately. And I think most people probably would have this up for like $400, $500, $600. I think when it comes to these type of figures, putting it up for $1,000 is like, hey, if somebody wants it, they can buy it for that price. Otherwise, make me an offer. If you want to sell it for $600 and you list it for $1,000, and someone comes in like 25% off and offers you $750, you just made a huge profit based off of what you wanted to sell it for. So, but to add a second carded grudge match, black card Remco, it's so amazing. I was so grateful for that. So the Butcher and Cologne was $365. Bockwinkel and Zbyszko was $350. The most I've spent on these figures, on any Remco, is the grudge match. Now, the great thing about these particular figures. So this is Jerry Blackwell and Stan Hansen that you'll find on these cards. Again, I don't know. I never watched AWA, so I really don't know anything about these characters or anything like that. I see this hat down here, and I'm like, hold on a minute. Is it missing a hat? Or is just one of them supposed to be wearing that accessory? I don't know. It doesn't look like the cards ever come off the card backing or anything like that, so I wouldn't imagine that both of them wore a hat. That were the case. So this one, I think I came in with an offer of $350. Again, because I bought Cologne and Butcher for $350, I've been coming in at $350 for all of these guys in hopes that I would basically come out, with the same price. Actually, Butcher and Cologne cost me $365, so $350, $365, and this one was the most at $400. I think it was up for like $600 or something, and I came in at $350, and they sent me a counter offer at $400, and I accepted. Like I said, when I'm buying from someone, if I feel like their price is too high, or I'm more comfortable at a specific price tag, if they're willing to work with me, I'm going to try my best to try and work with them. So, they weren't coming down from like 600 to like 575. They were at least trying to be as reasonable to get the sale done. And, $400, I still feel like that's overpriced, but I'm super enthusiastic about adding this. I mean, I think I like this even better than the Cologne and Abdullah the Butcher, but either way, man, these are just so awesome. $400 for this particular pack. Alright. I guess the last two figures I'm going to be talking today are pretty much, they're the same figure. I'll talk about them individually. So, the first one I got is the carded LJN of Big John Studd. Now, as you know, Big John Studd, LJN, my all-time favorite LJN figure. He's got this absolutely tremendous pose. I've bought this figure probably 4 times already, and I'll explain. So, with so many items out there, like I'll buy an item today, let's say I pay $1,000, throw out a number. I'll buy it again, I'll pay like $500. I'll buy it again, I'll pay like $400. I'll buy another one and pay like another $350, $400. And it seems to be like the norm. You'll always pay up on the first item you purchase, but every time you buy duplicates, you always seem to get it for far cheaper than you paid on your initial purchase. And so, if you're trying to sell the duplicate for, let's say I bought this for $1,000 and I bought another one for $500, I'm probably gonna try to take that $500 purchase and sell it for $1,000 to at least get my money back on this one, but it doesn't work out that way. But anyways, so I was bidding on this on auction, and I think it was up to like $250 or something, $275. It was months and months ago. I can't remember the details. But essentially, the time was winding down, and the price kept going up and up and up. And I'm like, you know what? My max bid, let's say, was $350. Was it $350 or $400? I can't remember. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna lose. I might as you see the find similar items, or you might also like that they sent to your email or at the bottom of your eBay account. So when I was looking at that, I came across a seller in Canada who was offering up this one. It was a buy it now. I think like $400. I can't remember if it was 400 Canadian or $400 American. I'm thinking it was closer to 500 Canadian, so it still would have come out to be somewhere in the $400 realm. And so I went ahead and I bought it. But they took me all the way up to my max bid, and I ended up winning the original auction. And I think I won the original auction for like $350 or something. But when it comes to the one that I got from the Canadian seller, I do like this is the one I hang up on my wall, and it's because of that right there. So this one is better in the sense that it's a clear bubble, whereas this one is, you know, really yellow. But the clear one, no. When it comes to what I classify as the big five, it was really important to me to acquire a carded LJN figure. I mentioned it several times. I wanted at least 5 carded figures, and I wanted at least one of them to be this right here. And so I got that from the seller in Canada. This hangs proudly on my wall with my other LJNs. But when I, you know, 400 on that, and then I got this for another 350 and 50 plus. It's just hanging, sitting up on my shelf over here. Not really with anything else. Just kind of like with the Jakks Classic Superstars 2 and 3 packs. This one I don't have up for sale. I bought that one at least twice more, and I think I paid somewhere in like the $200 range, $200 for 2 other card figures. You know, the bubble was coming off the backing, so that obviously lowered the value of it. But yeah, I think I got like four or five. I think 4 carded Big John stud figures right now, and there always seems to be like a specific character or figure that I'm gravitating towards. Like, at the beginning of this year, every time I saw the Heart Foundation on eBay, on auction, I kept bidding on them and winning. And so I probably had like half a dozen of those tag teams available. Like, I really felt like I was building this massive monopoly of Heart Foundation figures. And, you know, you try to resell them, but they never sell for what you paid for them. You might buy them individually, pay like $90 to $110 for each figure, and you end up selling them both for like $1.50, which sucks. Here's another thing. So right over there, you see all these Hulk Hogan and Roddy Piper figures. Kind of off subject, but I bought the first Roddy Piper countless months ago. I paid like $175 for it or something, and I put it on my wife's account. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try and get you some money. I had no intention on selling it. That's why I put it on her account, and I put it up there for like $275. I'm like, you know what? If somebody buys it, I'll definitely take the profits off that. That's awesome. And it was up for a couple months, and then it eventually sold for $275. And you know, went into my wife's account, able to, you know, she was able to pay some bills with that. So, but I really hated selling that figure. And then later on, I got a Hulk Hogan figure. I'm like, man, now I got a Hogan and no Piper. And so, not only did I get a Piper, you know, without accessories, then I got the Piper with, you know, the kilt and shirt and belt, and then I got Hogan. I bought the Hogan with the shirt. Had to go to XOX Customs to get the belt, and then I ended up getting a regular Hogan with the original belt, and I think I bought another one as well. And, you know, starting Monopoly on that stuff, I'm like, nah. Like I said, you buy something for $200 and you see something selling for $100, you're like, well, shoot, I just paid $200 for this, so hey, maybe I can buy it for $100, sell it for $200, and, you know, get my money back for that first one. But just because I pay a certain number for something doesn't mean that everyone else is going to pay that number. So, especially with so many of these items being sold together, so many different options out there. I'm sure someone could go out there and probably find a Hulk Hogan with belt and shirt for $75. I'm sure someone has that available. Plus, what sucks is when I'm just selling on eBay, I kind of feel like it's very regional. Like, all of my buyers seem to come from, like, Missouri, Illinois, the occasional Texas, the occasional California, the occasional New York. But, like, I'm in Kentucky, so it's either Kentucky, it's sometimes Michigan, it's Illinois, it's Missouri. It's within the general vicinity of where I live. So, yeah, off subject. So we're past 24 minutes. I really didn't think this was going to go 20, so I'm going to shut up now. There is one more video I want to make, and it's kind of different video because it's something that is going to partake to some of the figures I had as a kid and some of the figures I use as wrestlers. As you guys know, I didn't use all wrestling figures as wrestlers. Sometimes you had to ad-lib with something else. Alright, so, you know what? Darn, I can't make that video. There is one figure I want to come in that's still doing, and I want to include that figure in the video, so shoot. I wanted to make that video, but it's not going to happen. Again, today's Wednesday, the 21st. That should be here by Saturday, so if not tomorrow or the next day, I don't know. So I'll just make that on the weekend when I'm off work. Had a doctor's appointment at VA today, so I cut out work after lunch. So it's nice that it's able to give me some time to come down here and make some videos for you guys, though. So once again, everyone, thank you for watching. Please leave a comment if you'd like. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, I always love hearing from you guys. All right, talk to y'all later.